When I first started doing team building in an outdoor education scenario, I had worked in small business and I had done enterprise IT, but I didn't really have the experience that I do today. Having worked in Microsoft and in large organizations, I often ran into scenarios where marketing and engineering would butt heads because of their differences in domain experience. But some of the times, those issues were not actual issues in the goal of either organization, but in the way that they communicated to each other. Now that I have more of that understanding, I'm a much more effective outdoor education team building instructor. When you're working with kids in a team building environment, you're really talking more about trust and cooperation. And when you're talking to corporations and adults about team building, you're really talking about communications and trust. Engineering and marketing want to cooperate. It's not that they don't have the same goals for the organization, it's their approach to those goals that are different. And sometimes it really is a difference in vocabulary that determines whether or not a project is successful. Because I now have that experience and the ability to talk to those kinds of issues, when working with corporate team building groups in an outdoor education environment, I can be much more effective. When working with kids, there's definitely the advantage that I can say, yes, you're going to use this in the real world, and have a little bit of influence. But with kids, it's really been more about, as I've gotten older, I'm much better at picking out which kids are the leaders and determining what role to put them in or how to change a team building exercise so that the same kids aren't leading in all instances. In a corporate environment, it really works out that while there are project leaders, who is leading a project is a function of what the problem is that the team is working on. When engineering is supporting a marketing initiative, marketing should drive the initiative. And when marketing is supporting an engineering-driven initiative, engineering does the driving. We're going to announce a new feature, and this was an engineering-created feature, something that was brought out as a result of customer need or through clever work of a developer. Marketing needs to understand that thing, but it needs to be driven by the engineering team. Taking that kind of experience and that understanding and applying it to the way kids work, you can shape which objectives you're going to go through with a team building exercise. Saying, okay, Tommy has been driving all of these ones that are mechanical based, and Billy has been driving all these ones that are physical based, and Jill has been driving all these ones that are communication based. And changing the mix so that each of them step into a leadership role at different times, and having the discussion with the kids about how each of them chose who was going to be the leader and who led during each obstacle becomes a even larger lesson for the team building. I don't think I'm still certified for team building. I kind of hope I'm not. I got certified in 2000, and so if my certification is still good 11 years later, I'm a little worried about how valid those certifications are. But I'm definitely familiar with over 200 team building exercises that can be done with or without outside obstacles, that can be done in groups as small as 4 or possibly 2, and as large as 50. And I think that that's a set of skills that I bring to the outdoor education and camping experience that a large number of the people that I have worked with in the past in those organizations don't have. They've tended to learn, 4 or 5 team building exercises that they reuse, and those can be great as openers to, introductions, get to know you, those kinds of things. But in terms of actually training staff, the ability to have that large repertoire of tasks that can be done can be a great way to deal with issues and communication problems that are going on in the organization that you might not be able to get everyone around the table in a neutral setting otherwise to deal with. I've often found that one of the ways that in a camping environment that I've been able to resolve some of the issues that was going on with interpersonal problems between counselors was to do interactions with the kids that put those counselors into a scenario where they were going to have to work together. By giving them some common ground, it's often a lot easier to resolve things. And so I really think that team building and leadership training is a skill set that I bring and bring a unique spin on.